Brothers International.
Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and I hope you have a great New Year. My name is Jakara Howard Jr. I am 18 years old and I'm just here sitting with my brothers and we're ready to speak some facts and talk to the people.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here with my brothers. My name is Elvin Smith. I'm 22 years old, and we're just here to come and bring you perspective on life from our point of view.
Whoa, it's your boy Jarvis Holmes, and I'm 20 years old. I'm here with my brothers, and we just coming to give y'all some information about life.
Hey, how are you guys doing? My name is Nathaniel Lionel Carter. I'm 25 years old. I'm here enjoying today with my brothers, and we're just here to have a conversation about some subjects today.
So we're going to start with, what's the proof in the existence of God in your life? Well, with me, the proof of God in my life, it don't just start with, what I'm seeing every day, but it started off like kind of, I would say before me, really, with me, I'm not even supposed to be here, really. Like, to be honest with y'all, I'm supposed to be in the orphanage because I was like one more day in the hospital and I would have been sent to the orphanage. But a miracle had happened and some protocols was broken and a phone call was made to some other relatives. So the proof of God in my life is, just being where I'm at now. I mean, I'm in a blessed place. I don't have no worries. I got my brothers with me. So, we good, I'm good. God is good and he is really proving himself by just the people that surround me. So what about y'all?
I would have to say the grace and the gifts that God has given. The things that go unnoticed and the things that you don't really notice in your life. The proof with the existence of God in my life would be that the gifts that he has given me and my family. With what happened with my mother and her kidney dialysis, I thought way back then that she would probably never get it or it would be a very long time until she got her transplant. But after the man of God preached to my family, just in the same night she received a call to get the kidney, and that's what really helped fuel my passion and my belief that there is a God.
That was good. For me personally, the proof and existence of God in my life, I believe it was stem back to as I was growing as a child. Me personally, I've always been in church. I necessarily wasn't always interested in church, but my father had a prophetic grace. But when things were I truly began exposed to God was when I got sick with COVID. That for me, it brought me closer to him. And through that, I came to my current church, Choice International, and since then I've just seen, heard, and experienced things. I've learned things about me, the gifts that he's given me, and that's just my experience and my proof of God.
My proof of God existing in my life is simply in the year 2019. I got the scars to show y'all. I was ejected out of a two-door truck with two of my teammates, and when the ambulance brought me to the hospital, and I was telling the person who worked there, I said, because before they put you in a room, you got to talk to a person first. And when I was just telling her what happened, I told her I got ejected out of the car. And she just was saying, baby, if you would have got ejected out the car, you would have had way more marks on you. And it took until a police came with a police report to give me a no seatbelt ticket, showing them that I had got ejected out the car. So you seeing me right now is just proof that God is real.
And in our own ways, it's powerful. Like, proof God is here. Like, God is real. And, like, I gotta agree with y'all, brother. Like, that's a scary thing, getting ejected out of a car.
Right.
Like, that's like, wow. Like, one moment you cool and going down the road, next,
right,
it just hit. It's like, God, you showed up for me.
Right.
Like,
and I kid you not, it's crazy you say that, bro, because the moment when I opened my eyes after I was on the ground, and when I seen the parts of the car, like the battery and the motor and all that above my head, when I seen all that above my head, I dropped back down on the ground instantly, and I just started thanking God because he spared my life and he had to do it.
in my view, the meaning of marriage in my generation would be it's nowadays more of a convenience type thing. Um, Simply, for example, if someone that reads the Bible, shacking up together, that's something that when I was growing up, my father used to always tell me, that's not something you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So if you get married, you can avoid that, or simply being married because you made a baby out of wedlock or something like that. In the previous generation, that was something, you got somebody pregnant, you got to marry that girl. So that's pretty much what I say is what I think about marriage in my current generation.
It's crazy because like I heard some of that same stuff. Like my mom always tell me the same thing. Like if you stick around your hometown and you don't get out, get an education, and move out of state, like you gonna just be like that. You're gonna get that girl pregnant and stuff. And it made me start thinking. It's like I really want to be married. So my views on marriage, it kind of changed from just like, oh, it's just somebody I'm with, to it's like, okay, now this is somebody I could build with. If I want $1 million house, but you got $100,000 mindset, how I'm gonna marry you, So my views on marriage is like, our lifestyles don't have to be the same because we could all change in a way, but you gotta be able to be committed, be truthful, honest, and be able to work with that person through difficulties and stuff like that. So if you really looking at marriage, then you looking at working on yourself and then working with that person's problems and building. It's all about building. Can we build together? Can we work together? That's just my views on it,
I'm gonna have to disagree with y'all a little bit. I mean, obviously y'all are a little bit older with that generation and everything, but for me, for my generation, I feel like marriage means little to nothing at this point. With growing up, me and my generation, a lot of people nowadays are into like hookup culture and just getting together just for the fun, for like they're there for a good time, not a long time type of thing, really. Yeah. And with men statistically staying into more single relationships and not really marrying, it's just like people just aren't really worried about marriage that much anymore. It's not their goal in life. I've probably seen about 2 people get married that I know in my schools, in my high schools. Like nobody's getting married. Nobody's in relationships that more any much. They're just in the hookup culture.
Right, and I gotta agree with you on that and the reason why it's like that because our generation now they don't honor the principle of marriage, and when you don't honor the principle of marriage, the marriage can't go nowhere, and that's just simple. In my view of marriage, it's supposed to be 2 people dropping down all their humanities, sacrificing for their partner, just doing things for their partner, So I agree with you 100% on that part because nowadays, they got a lot of married people cheating on their partner. Yeah. So I agree with you on that. So and nowadays, and the young generation that we live in, you tend to break rules a lot. Do your own thing. So to be honest with you, like you don't have to. You get away with a lot of things without being married. You don't get a lot of checkdowns as people who is married, to be honest with you.
And I could support that. I could back up what y'all saying. I understand that. But I feel like as you get older, your mind change. Like your thoughts change. You go from having one girl every week to okay, now you just gonna settle down with this one girl. It's gonna cause so many problems, but you gonna work through it. So it's like, yeah, you get freedoms and liberties being single, all that's fun. But like when the older you get and stuff like that, and you're ready to really settle down, you're really focusing on your financials, all right, my legacy, what's gonna happen when I turn 35, when you get to thinking like that, then you just be like, you know what? Maybe I need to find somebody that can keep my mind on the right track, keep me focused and stuff. Right now, we're not really thinking about that because you're young, so you're really just all over the place because you're still trying to discover yourself. But when you find yourself, I mean, finding a marriage, that's gonna come natural, that's gonna come easy. Like, if I could tell y'all anything, Don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. It's gonna come. Once you find yourself and you straight, you got your crown, you got your throne, you got your money, it's gonna come. You're gonna be good. You know.
But look, for all of that to work, both persons got to be on the same page. If one person not on that same page, that thought of that marriage is already dead.
And I don't even worry about that, cause if you what God wants you to be at, then when He send you somebody, they gonna already be there. So right now it's like, you know, like just test the waters. Like me, I test the waters. Okay, I'm gonna get with you. I'm gonna have a committed relationship with you. But I'm testing to see, okay, where your mind at? You know, I ask you questions, see where your mind at, what you think about. Is you just thinking about today and tomorrow? Or is you thinking about 10, 20, 30 years trying to come up with a plan? Because I'm trying to measure it out, you know.
All right, so this is my question to you. So you know the saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Mhm.
So how'd you feel about that statement then? Because you just said you test the waters.
I feel if God can work with anybody, you know. So if God want me with this person, God say, all right, look, I'm gonna be with this person, even though this person not, but still, God gonna work that out.
So how you know if God's something? How you don't know if it's...
You gotta pray on that one.
All right.
I got a question for you, guys. So do you think that our generation is just so far gone that you said hookup culture, right? We have a lot of hookups, and I agree with that. Or do you think it's more of that people have been hurt so much that they are scared to try to put into a relationship, that loyalty is a lost concept now?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. With the so far gone little idea, I feel like it has to do with society and the media, most likely, with the recent current celebrity icons like Cardi B, Future,
right.
like influencing our younger generations into thinking that like cheating and like, you know, having premarital sex is good and like there's nothing wrong with it, with drinking and stuff like that.
Right.
It just influences them, and it poisons their mind into thinking like all that type of stuff.
And I agree with you on that. Social media ruined everything for
Facts.
marriage because,
Yeah.
you know, now girls think they could be hot girls, or boys think they could be, you know, that they think they could be that dude all the time, you know, cheating and all that, and thinking they're gonna get a holy or a wife that's not cheating on them. You can't be living as you in the world and expect you're gonna get a loyal girlfriend. I mean, a loyal wife. That's just not gonna happen.
Facts.
So what would be your advice for someone that's seeking a true marriage, or a marriage, the idea of just a loyal partner, someone to, as you said, build with?
I'm gonna tell you right now, work on yourself.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. Work on yourself. Don't no girl want no broken dude. Don't no dude
Right.
want no broken girl. If you broke, you don't got no money. Whatever. Look, it's not about money. It's not about what you have. You drive a good car. That don't mean nothing. It's about your mindset. Because if you don't have a car, but you got the mindset to get one, you're going to get a car. So it's about your mindset. Work on yourself, build better, and elevate your mind. And all that come naturally.
But this is my question to you. So you don't believe money could change a person's perspective?
If you a money person, then yeah. I'm not a money person.
Right.
You know,
Change my
if you broke,
Right, but look.
if you broke and I give you the play to make some money and you follow that play, you know, move for move, now you have some, you ain't broke no more. So
But let's just be honest here. Most females in this world, they're not marrying a man who has, that they got more income than the man that did. Cause if anything, they the man in the household, right?
okay, I'm following where you're going, but this is the thing though. It's like it's two sided. I can't say okay, a female marry a dude for money. Dudes be marrying some of these females for money. This is a totally different time. We just keep it real. I done seen dudes. Okay, you know, she got a little bread, and you know he driving her Ultima around and stuff. Now, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So we keep it real. You know,
Right.
at that point, that's what they really about. You know, they're not really about trying to get better and be better. They just about living off of what that other person have.
Right.
And that's not a marriage at that point.
I feel you on that. In my view, what is the significance of church and a preacher is simple. You need a person that has that authority in the realm, and that simply hear from God. Because I'm just gonna be honest. Most people that say they hear from God, they're not really hearing from God, because the people that say they be hearing from God be saying God talk to them every day. God, if he says something, he ain't gonna say too many words. He gonna say something clear and sweet and to make you get it, and just like that. He ain't gonna do too much talking. So you need that authority, that person that got authority in the realm, a rank in the realm, that have favor with God, to hear what God is doing in our lives.
That was a good answer. I'm gonna simple it down just a little bit. How the preacher and the church is significant, especially nowadays, is as a new generation, it requires a new preacher. The same old things won't attract the youth today that it did years ago. So for one, you need to have a preacher that connects with the youth. You can't have an old Baptist preacher that's gonna, that's gonna.
Right.
They're not gonna pull in today. Today's youth is attracted to something new, and I find that a lot of churches have some. It could be toxic cultures. Some churches are dead. So you need to have a combination of both. You need to have an exciting preacher, or a preacher that can connect with the youth, adults, our elderly, and you need to have a church with good culture, good morals. It's pretty much like a family, and that's what I say.
I have to agree with you on the old Baptist thing. You really got to have a preacher in a church that is more open and more modern to the younger mind. If the preacher or the church is still sticking to the old ways, then you're not really going to reach that younger audience, and they're going to want to avoid the church as much as possible because it's not really for them. And I would have to say that the church and a preacher is significant because it sets them on the right path. It cleanses their soul for a bit, and it sets them on the right path to make sure that they're doing the right thing. And it gives them a father figure, or if it's a female preacher, maybe a mother figure that'll help guide them if they didn't have that in their life.
Nah, I gotta agree with all y'all though. Like, when I really think about it, it's like the importance of church, the importance of a preacher. Well, it's different for everybody. What you need is not what I need. What I need is not what you need. So the importance is going to come down to that individual, meaning you need to have a church and have a preacher who is very well rounded. He understands, okay, how it is to go without. Not everybody can relate having your lights cut off. You can't get no food. You don't got no heating. Some people can't relate to that. So then you have other people, they can't relate to how it feels to drive a Bentley, how it feels to drive Mercedes and stuff like that. So you get a culture, you get people, and you get to looking at each other, and it's like, well, you up there living a high life. Well, you down there, you broke, you poor. You see, and it's because of that, it's like it almost creates jealousy, and you can't have that family that a church is. And that's all a church really is, a family. And the preacher, with him being very well-rounded, he brings it all together. And he's able to distribute to each individual what they need while they're here. It's a hospital. We all coming because we are sick, not of like medical or anything, but we are sick in the flesh. The flesh is dying, and we're coming to seek salvation. Right. So if we're gonna get that, then for one, we have to be united. We got to work together. Respect each other, love on each other, and stuff like that. Right. But you can't do that if you looking at that person because they're at the top and y'all looking at each other funny, side eye, stuff like that. So I feel like the importance of the church and the preacher is to unite and make the community stronger, to give the communities a place where when they don't got nowhere else they could go, they could come to the church. And that's for all generations.
Right. And I like that what you said. You said the church is like a hospital, and that's true. The preacher is like the surgeon that do surgery on all the members. You never know what predicament or what situation one person going through, but the preacher know how to surgery and how to make it work. So I like what you said with that. That was good.
Okay, so it seems like we all was pretty much on the
same page.
The same wave with that.
Right. Right.
So I would say that we have a lot of sick people out here because there's currently not a lot of people that's attending church right now.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? Do you think that's like because of the preacher? Do you think that's because of the church?
I'm gonna
Do you think it's a mixture?
I'm gonna be honest with you. First, I'll say it's the men. It's the men, because nowadays you see churches is filled with mostly women. I believe if the men was to be the head in the family and would start initiating, all right, we going to church, then we will see a whole family of churches in there. So I believe it starts with the men.
And I'm gonna be honest, like when I really think about it, and we look at like, okay, men versus women, okay, what I realized, like just going through the stuff that I go through in my everyday life, men is very hard to really control themselves. Like really, it's hard to have a conversation. Ladies, y'all know us men, we hard to talk to. I understand. We hard to talk to, because y'all trying to talk to us and we take things left, we go right. And I feel like in the church, that woman gets that attention and she gets what she needs. That's why you see it's more women in the church, because what she can't get at home, she could come here and she can get what she needs. She get that attention, or she get that warm touch from sister so and so or something like that. A man probably ain't never gave her a hug and said she beautiful in the past month.
Right.
But you come to the house, and the woman, oh girl, I like them shoes, I like that dress. She get that love and affection. But for us dudes, we don't really be wanting that love, and we be like, man, we just move around. We don't want to talk. We don't want to socialize. We want to go get money, do what we do, and be done. So I feel like it's lacking, because I hear a lot of people like, oh, I gotta get myself together first. Now realizing, so you come to the house will get you together. And so because men have a hard time accepting help, reaching out for help, and seeing their own faults in themselves, that's why it's lacking in men.
Now, this is my question to you. What you mean by men don't want to receive love? What type of love you talking about?
Like, okay, so for example, if as a man, if we going through something, all right, let's say we cheated on our wife or something, or we dealing with multiple females or something. Mm-hmm. All right, people gonna come criticizing, oh, this, that, blah, and all that. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. So we gonna naturally stray away from and run away from places where we know we gonna get criticized. That's why it's very important, preachers don't criticize the people. When you preaching or when you work with people, don't criticize the people for their humanity. You address it, you deal with it, and teach them and show them, but you don't criticize and attack them. And I feel like a lot of churches has criticized and attacked the humanity of people like they're perfect, and it's pushed people out of the church. And now they don't want to go and get that help, because they don't want that help and love, because it's gonna hurt, because you attacking them, you criticizing them.
Right, but I gotta attack on something that you said.
Amen.
You said a married man cheated on his wife. That's what you said.
As an example.
As an example, all right. But that it sounds like that's just a man don't want to hear about his wrongdoing. That's really what it sounds like.
And that's what it comes down to.
Right. So you believe it's just a man don't want to face their wrongs.
Amen.
So that's why men not in the church, you believe?
That's part of it.
Gotcha. All right.
You said for preachers not to criticize, and I agree with that. But at the same time, we as men still have to accept some form of responsibility. So would you say that there's a way for preachers to
address it
address it in love and not criticize?
Yes, there is.
Okay. All right, guys. So to get more men in the church. So that's going back to that question we had earlier. So the preacher would have to watch how he say things.
Watch how he say, watch how he moves.
So to not offend men. But ain't in the things of God, you have to offend somebody to turn them from their wicked ways.
But it's not what you say.
Right.
It's how you say it. See, I could come and be like, man, you a straight up dog. You be doggy female. But that would offend you. They'll be like, I'm a dog, what you mean? But if I come to you and say, well, don't treat so-and-so like this. If you're going to be with her, be with her. If you're not going to be with her, then leave her alone and mess with these people. Don't keep messing with her and trying to mess with them. So you see, it's about a way and how you say things,
I gotta disagree with you on that.
I disagree with you too,
because like how you expect someone to grow that preacher or somebody else is just gonna sugarcoat it or beat it.
And
around.
it's not
Being
sugarcoating.
pacified. It's like basically what you, and I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but it sounds like what you want. It sounds like you want the preacher to pacify a baby, a man.
It's not I'm saying baby him, but what I'm saying is don't beat the man up on it. You know how some preachers like to announce stuff from the pulpit, such and such. You see, don't beat the man up. You gotta look. You done wrong. Stop doing what you done. This is what you done. You know what you done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But don't get that and blast
keep
him in
going
front.
and Sunday after Sunday.
Yeah,
after
and keep
Sunday.
blasting
So
him
that's
in
what
front of people and
All
stuff
right.
like that.
So basically, what
know.
you're saying, mention it one time and don't just keep repeating yourself on it.
Pull him to the side. Have candid conversations with him on the side.
Right,
You know,
gotcha.
don't discuss people personal business in the church. Keep it
All right.
separate. You want people to come back to the church. It just like you say, go back to the church. Have to be a community. In a community, you keep certain things in your home, in your little circle, and as things grow and you get more and more people to your church, you're gonna find, hey, maybe I need to start having more private one-on-one conversations with certain members to address certain things and stuff like that.
But I got a question. Whose fault would that be if I gotta disagree with you on that one,
But
bro?
it comes down to maturity as well.
that too.
It comes down to because some people they just can't take rebuke.
right.
So it comes down to maturity.
All
You
right.
know. So it's really a 2 week when we can talk about this all day because
Real
it
talk.
goes so many different ways. It's a
Right.
twofold thing. One hand, you got the preacher to trying to be respectful and trying not to. And the other hand, you got this old sensitive person who don't want to accept responsibility and they're immature.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's really a confliction, and you just need. That's why God steps in. He gives grace. He gives favor, and to resolve the situation.
Right.
That's why you have your pastors, and then you got your head. It's kind of layers
I get
of
you,
leadership is what I'm trying to
Right,
say.
I get what
Layers
you're
of it
saying.
to that way that person don't just go straight to the preacher and boom he get killed. It's like you
Right.
get worked up.
Got you. So basically, what you saying? The churches. Yeah, I like this topic, dude, bro. I like it. So basically, what you saying? The men gotta feel the church is like a safe house for him
Yeah.
to tell his humanity to the man of God, right?
Yes, exactly.
All
You
right,
know.
I feel you on that one. All right.
Wow, so what a powerful conversation. I mean, I've enjoyed the talk. With my brothers here, spending time with him to just speak some facts about life and things from my viewpoint to you guys on the conversations of what is the evidence of God in your life. What is marriage to us? Like, how do we view marriage? And last but not least, what's the importance of a preacher in the church? These have really been some very powerful topics, and there's more to come. So tune in. We will be back with more.